nobody wants to be around at 99 years old anyways. You can...
I'm starting to think 61 is too
That's
long.
The thing.
God.
Screw it, Sam. Let's start with that.
I lied. Do you want
He's
to be
going to
old
blame my
enough?
mom. He will.
He's going to blame your mom. It's your mom's fault. There's a lot of jokes in there.
Yeah.
Your mother jokes.
Yeah.
That could be there. Oh, okay. It's just like, is there something gross on my floor? Okay, time to play bikes. If you've been watching the Olympics, let's just say that we go here beyond mentioning anyone that went to Harvard, was a venture capitalist, and started cycling in Central Park. Say it. There it is.
Did my mom make you late?
Mom did?
Yeah, she really did. She missed her appointment because she's getting a half-wit now.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's right. We are an actual in-depth discussion about the world of cycling and a bunch of stuff that might not be, but still sounds like a group ride with friends. Welcome to the longest standing cycling podcast. Welcome to the Pack Filler Cycling Podcast. We are live in the Rim Break Bar, which means there is no stopping us. See what I did there? You get that? That was good. It came out of my face out of my fingers while I was typing it today.
That was good.
I'm pretty good.
Because rim brakes suck.
Yeah.
I got it.
There's no stopping.
Took me a minute.
It'll slow you down. We can be seen on our YouTube channel as well as our digital home at packfiller.com or wherever you find your podcasts. I assume you have found us, hence you are listening. Before our introduction to the prologue question, since Sam finally decided to honor us with his presence, let's all take a second, raise our glasses, and toast our pint of Benedito's beer to the brilliant ride by Christian Faulkner at the Paris Olympic Road Race.
Here, here.
Hey. She took on the Giants and prevailed with enough time to look around, even though she didn't. I seriously, when she was crossing the line, I was like,
Yeah, but
does she know that she just won?
You should know why she did that.
You keep going through no matter what.
That's a crew thing, right?
Yeah, you power
And
through.
that was the sport she did before cycling.
Well, really? I didn't.
Yeah.
ABC.
See, there it is.
NBC said. Fine,
See?
fine.
Check this out.
Yeah.
I want Paul. You roll all the way across the line. She just pedaled.
She
all the way
did,
through.
but I expected at least a post-line celebration. But I wondered if she was just cooked. I mean, if she was just from going full out.
Wouldn't you, with those names behind you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go America.
Yeah, before our intro... Oh, I already said that part. Now Connie Carpenter-Finney can finally welcome somebody new to the club. Last Olympic gold road race winner, 1984. Let's get on with things. With tonight's prologue question, holy crap, the theme is already over. We can hear Sam chewing the gummy bears. What would your weapon of choice be for the zombie apocalypse, gentlemen? The question, what would your weapon of choice be for the zombie apocalypse? First of all, he's strong enough to break his jockstrap, Mr. Paul Main.
And I had some aid with the bleach on it.
No,
kind of
don't say that.
Oh, okay.
It's like when there are 5 people in the race and you say, I got top 5. Mm-hmm. You can just say, dude, I went up for a layoff and broke my jockstrap.
Yeah.
Still, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right.
What would your weapon of choice be?
I don't know what it takes. Now, my experience of zombies is from Night Stalker. Do you remember that show?
You are.
Yeah. So
dating
and I
yourself.
think so. You would have to have, what is it, rock salt, and you have to sew their mouth shut and something. I can't remember what it was. So whatever Night Stalker did for the zombies, that would be my choice.
I
of
don't.
weapons.
I have to say I didn't see that show. It was
That was 70s, 80s.
before my time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
They made it into a comic book series, by the way.
Did they?
Yeah. Second off, he is strong enough to tell you all the time, just like a vegan would. Mr. Sam Waples. See, because vegans always tell you they're vegans. You always tell us how strong
like
you are.
Everybody, I know.
Yeah.
Just like everybody that drives a Prius doesn't drive a car.
Do you know how angry vegans get when you tell them that they tell you that they're a vegan? They get mad, especially online. Mm-hmm. Like in social media, it's like going, hey, you know how you tell a vegan? They're going to tell you, and they're like, we don't do that. And they're
I'm a vegan and I don't do that.
Yeah, and their
Like
name,
their
their social media name is like
Yeah.
plant-based life winner number 1.
Yeah,
or
vegan cyclist.
Yeah. He's just VC now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that was his worst
Yeah.
thing he's ever done.
Really?
Yeah, he did. Not
So
worse,
he's stuck
but he
with
said
it.
he should have never.
He's stuck with it.
Yeah, well, he changed it to VC.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Sam. What's your weapon?
I don't want to live through a zombie side.
But you gotta fight your way. You gotta stay alive, man.
I'm gonna take 50 cal up into a
That would be fun.
yeah. Let's
Really?
just pick them off until I get ambushed.
Okay, so you
And I'm
aren't
going to the
planning on
tower.
living. You
No.
aren't planning on living because
No.
usually when somebody says they're taking something that requires ammunition, you're limiting.
This
yourself.
is exactly. This is see how many I can get before I'm gone.
See how long I can ride this out.
Yeah.
Okay. Next off, he is strong enough to randomly do 100 miles just at the drop of a hat. Mr. David Waples, dude. We're gonna get to the point where you did that.
I'm still tired.
You still look.
Yeah.
Well, thinking of my experience with zombies, can I bring a ray gun?
No, technologically
Call of
available
Duty.
Call
at
of
this
Duty
point in
zombies?
time.
That's what you're talking about.
I didn't get
You
it.
still
Yeah,
have
it's
to
Call of
reload
Duty.
that though.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate weapon. You still have to what?
You still have to reload that though, right?
I don't
I don't
remember. I
know.
thought that it was.
If you're a dilithium
Well, that was like
crystals.
a power-up gun that you got, and then it was like a minute of
you
Yeah.
might be right.
unstoppable.
Oh my God, this is going to fit the topic tonight so well.
Well, I don't really. Can it just be a vehicle then that I can like drive and hide in?
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna.
Your Toyota.
Like just my truck would be fine.
I
My
think
truck will work.
I think a decent RV is
Yeah, there you go.
just
A
get out of
armored-
town. Just
armored
get out of
RV.
populated areas, polluted areas. Get out of
I
populated
want a
areas.
bunker.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're gonna be one of those.
Oh, not
Hoarders?
once again. I don't want to survive in it. But how cool would it be if you had a bunker? You could
just
just
had
have
one
this
around.
apocalypse. But you just had a bunker in
Yeah.
your backyard, and it was like where we did podcasts in a bunker, man cave, bunker, man
shut up.
bunker.
A yacht.
This isn't a bunker. Shut up.
Very limiting, but I agree.
Yeah.
There we go. Next off, he is strong enough to feel comfortable saying he likes art fairs. Mr. Jackson Bolger.
I've been comfortable to say I like art fairs since
That's
I
what I
was
mean.
young.
You
Yeah.
went to an art fair this week.
I did. Yeah. I got 2 stickers. One that was a
I got 2 stickers.
The tone was really. I
Yeah.
got 2 stickers.
My wife got a bunch of cool stuff because those are catered. I feel like to women a lot more than they are.
Oh
And
yeah.
hipsters.
Well, I will also say if you have enough money, they're catered to you as well. If you can buy like the massive art pieces, like I will say, I look at photographers a lot of the time, and I'm like, what really is the artistry in that? And then you see some of those like beautiful like wall size pictures, and you're like, okay, I kind of see
Holy
it now. It's
shit.
pretty
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my stickers. One is a moose on a mountain bike, and then what the other one is 2 otters like holding each other, and both my wife and I at the exact same time when we saw it, we looked at the sticker and went, "Oh, that's us!" And so I bought
Oh. Where are they going? Water bottles kind of thing?
it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll find a place for them.
Okay. Which weapon?
My weapon would be, speaking of Call of Duty, in the most recent, was it this one or the one before? It might have been the one before. They had this weapon you could get called dual kadachis, and it was 2 swords that you would always run around with in front of you, and they had quite the range. So I would do that because swords are
unlimited
Yeah.
ammo.
Wow.
swords are
You just gotta
endless.
get close to them. I don't want to get close to
Yeah,
them.
but it depends on what type of zombies we're talking about. Because if we're talking about
Sprinters,
running ones,
like World War Z
or-
zombies.
then
plotters.
you do want guns.
Yeah.
For running ones.
Yeah.
But the Walking Dead ones, those are like swords or baseball bats type of ones you can use.
Get a bike right away.
Yeah.
None of us said that. I didn't even pick that, and I haven't even gone yet.
Well, if they're fast zombies,
Yeah. Me, I'm strong enough to admit that I can go to movies at 10:30 in the morning alone.
Was there anyone in that theater?
There were 4 people.
Yeah, it looked alone.
Did you like it?
Deadpool and Wolverine, I did like. It is.
It looks funny.
It is a superhero movie for our generations, Paul, Gen X and beyond. The references are for people who grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it's hilarious. And no, it was a lot of fun.
I think I'm gonna go watch it over at a drive-in.
And there were enough F-bombs to make me feel comfortable that anybody who's mad at me for swearing too much on this show, truly.
There were 118.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think there's more in Big Lebowski. I think there's 200 and some.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Could you? The gosh darn cussing. What the fuck are you talking about? My weapon of choice would either be a decent machete, or if you've ever worked on trails, you know what a Pulaski is. A Pulaski has an axe handle on axe blade on one side, and on the back is basically kind of like an axe blade, but it's turned 90
like
degrees.
a pickaxe.
So it's but it has it's a flattened blade on both sides. So there's a blade on both sides, so you can swing both ways
Wow.
and get the job done.
You thought that through.
Well, I wrote the question, so. And I own a Pulaski. It's not very sharp anymore because I used it to like take out ground tree roots and stuff like that. I'm swinging into the ground, just going.
You know what would really lower property values? If you went and sharpened it out front on like one of those Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And just like as people go by, you're wearing like chainmail and you're like, howdy, neighbor.
Oh, you know what I want to do when the door-to-door people come by? I wish I had the wherewithal to actually like be prepared enough to actually be like, okay, give me a second, naked. But I'll put on a like an apron, a white apron, just covered in bloodstains, and naked, with an axe in my hand.
That'd be good. Or if you like came out
Come
like
on in.
Just walk up to the door
naked with like a gag or something like that, and they're like, nope, Lord Jesus, no.
Just open the door and go, what?
I'm in the middle of something here.
Come on!
We have Michelle scream in the basement or
quiet
something.
time.
Yeah.
I don't have any room in the freezer, but I got a wood chipper. Fargo.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about our cycling life, gentlemen. Who got some time in this week? I know Jackson got very little, probably because you were art fairing.
I did yesterday.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. And I am 2 seconds or 3 seconds.
Faster.
No, I was going to say I'm 2 seconds behind your KOM on in front of Lincoln Park by like 3 seconds.
In front of Lincoln Park.
You go down, I think it's like...
Through the park itself?
No.
Oh.
It's in front of it. It's like, what is it, 17th?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say? 17th? Yeah,
Flat?
17th.
Oh, yeah.
Flat. Kind of. It's like a 1% grade.
Good luck. Good luck.
I was
You're
pretty
not
close
gonna
yesterday.
get it.
How far are you behind it?
3 seconds.
What's
You need a
where
lead
is
It
it
out?
from
starts at the
what?
light, right? And then
It
it
starts
goes
just after the light.
and then it goes like all the way down to like almost
Perry?
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't get it.
So what we do...
I'm super close, and I know exactly where I need to make it up.
Yeah.
What we do is we go down there, and because I
That
will
was a
be...
solo.
I'm not saying that. What we do is we go there, you and I go way ahead of you, and I push the button for the stoplight.
That would be good.
That's a good idea.
That you
And
have
so
to
you
time
can
that. I
bomb
timed that.
through the stoplight at 30 miles an hour.
You crush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
taking
got it.
Sam's
You
victory.
got to time that correctly.
Yeah.
Like I waited for a car to come by, and then I started going so that it
See,
triggered it, and then I went.
You want to know why I think I'm going to get it? Is because I did it from a dead stop.
Yeah.
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 You're going to smash it.
Yeah.
You're going to be worth shit. They're saying.
Game on. It's right by my house. I'll just go back and get it.
And then there's another
If
one.
I have to, I'll take out the TT bike.
My own dojo.
Everybody's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" I'm clipping in at the light and just taking off. Why did you just do a 1 mile ride?
Yeah.
It was for a segment.
This is August
Man.
for road riders.
Yeah, that is August for
Try
Road
to
Riders.
steal each
That
other's
reminds me,
KOMs.
this morning, this is on topic for what we're talking about, right? Because I did a fair amount of riding this last week. We did another Thursday night.
Did you?
Really hot.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was last week. Things are blurring for me. It's wild.
This one I will actually go to.
Yeah, it was good. This Thursday was a good one, but I was cooked from just life in general. And so, yeah, and it was hot, but it was fast. So we did that. Saturday, raked the old guys through the coal. But this morning, I went out and did the morning ride we've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
5:30 a.m. And there's a local rider. And you know what? I'm not like picking on this local rider. Honestly, there's people around the country and world that do this, but he is very focused on his segments. And so he started in the back. And I know he's doing it. He starts in the back, and then he gets to the front, but you can tell he's like, oh, shit, I didn't time this right because now I'm at the front, but somebody else started behind me. So he has the KOM. He just wants to protect the KOM. So he backs off, and he just starts coasting and soft pedaling.
What?
And I was just like, buddy, it's a ride. Who cares? And I almost wanted to surge around him just to like give somebody else the KOM. Then I was like, I don't really care enough about this. Also, it's 6 a.m. I'm barely awake.
Okay, I have never, ever, and I never will earn a KOM. I have come to that conclusion.
You have KOMs.
No, I don't.
What?
No, I don't. All my years of KOMs were before Strava. Let's be 1,000% honest here. Or before
Let's get you a KOM.
Well, we don't. Okay.
I know the exact one.
Dude.
17th.
It's downhill.
Yeah.
It's called
Down Charles.
It's called fat ass descent.
Yeah.
Really? You did?
I'm 2
17th.
seconds off of getting it. No, it's 63rd to Altmont.
I'm
2 seconds off of it. It's like a block sprint. Mm-hmm. And if I were to give you that, because I know
so funny.
Well, I know who's.
I got one for you, Dad. It's only a block.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I've been having a tough time getting it myself, but I know who's in first right now. And if you got first over this person, it would be way better.
Would it?
Way better.
Okay.
And okay, just like to round out this whole Strava
think I know
thing,
who
it's
that is.
ridiculous. Our dad actually had a one, and I think he still does on Perry, local road that's like probably. I think this segment is maybe a half mile long, and it has a little bit of a kicker rise in the beginning, then it's dead flat. Our dad has it at 35 miles an hour.
Dude.
Because he drove.
Yeah, that's usually
But
the case.
everybody is like so like I've had so many texts like, dude, your dad, I cannot get that segment, and I'm like, yes, he was ripping that day.
Now somebody's
Like,
gonna
that's-
flag it.
yeah,
He's gonna
that's-
lose it.
No,
Way
no,
to
no,
go.
no, because it's done so long ago. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I mean, it looks like it.
Yeah, but
could
you're
have
talking
been
about it
either,
now.
right?
Somebody's gonna flag it.
Oh yeah, I know. People care way too much about this. Like, who cares?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, how about since the summer there are no races on the calendar, I've always said, why don't we just? Paul's gonna shake his head because every time I bring this up, he goes, I don't know, man.
Well, there is a race this weekend coming up that
Oh no, I'm
we
just
should
talking
have all
about
gone.
really.
Bend, Cascade Classic.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
this
that happened?
weekend?
The 10th.
Liar.
No,
They brought that back?
they brought it back.
it's a
for
one day.
criteria- one
It's a one
criterium.
day.
I know.
Oh.
Next year.
Yeah.
That would've been
Wait,
that
it's
is
a criterion?
Yeah, that'd be a road
Is
trip.
the downtown criterion?
Is it just the downtown?
Oh, I would do
criterion?
that.
Yeah,
I would
that'd be
road
fun.
trip for that.
And the worst case scenario, you
It's a
got a
great
couple days
city.
of riding around Bend,
Bend
which
is
are great.
awesome.
Don't
Yeah.
we know somebody down there? No,
Yeah.
maybe we don't.
No,
We do.
No,
Oh,
I'm joking.
no, yeah.
We do.
yeah. Didn't somebody do a video about bike towns? And
No, I don't remember that.
There's in Bend,
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah. But
nobody
chasing
notable.
chasing Strava segments might not be like you pick like 3 Strava segments for a training ride on a Saturday, and you go out and you team time trial it and you try to crush it.
Yeah, try to pick like the longer one, like a 20-minute one or something.
Yeah, or even some that you guys have been like, God, I've always been close to this. Okay, let's plot a ride and go and try and get these Strava segments. I mean, Phil Guyman's making a living doing it.
Yep.
I don't know. It could
I
be
just think
fun.
it's so funny when people take it really seriously, you know?
Oh no, yeah.
Like, I would do that to poach other people
Yeah.
just to piss them off.
That's what I'm saying. Let's
Yeah.
do that and piss people off.
Okay.
Speaking of which,
I have a few.
Paul found me, and I'm not sure I'm happy about it. I've lived in this city for the majority of my life, a new climb that I had never, ever known existed. And for people who don't live here, we could go into detail, but it's Indian Trail. You take a left once you get up to where the shopping centers are. If you keep going straight, you're going to end up where Jackson's in-laws live. But it's to the left of this huge shopping mall, and it's a
Barnes
horrible,
Road.
horrible climb.
Yeah, it just gets increasingly steeper.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me, strangely enough, a bend of that climb we did in the video, where it's just kind of out of nowhere. It just pops up,
Oh, do you end up like on the top where like that all those like really really nice north
You get up on the
side
prairie.
houses are?
No, there's a development at the top of this
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
So
It's horrible, and I was not happy with it. And I sweat. Is it still there? By the way, is there still a mark here? I had sunblock in my eyes with the sweat, and I rubbed my eyes so hard that I actually bruised my cheekbone just from going, I can't see, I'm going to die. Especially when we were going down the hill. I kept running.
It's the most annoying thing.
Oh.
It's just constantly watering.
Yeah. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, the sunblock and the sweat got in it, and it was just like.
And then the more you rub it, the worse it gets.
Yeah. And so
I just ride so
bruised
fast
myself.
it doesn't drip straight down. It goes off to the side.
That's my problem.
Also, you don't wear sunblock.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
Also, you
don't
don't wear
sweat in my
glasses.
eyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
David, I want to highlight the fact that I don't know if I have a fanfare. I probably do. We'll just give an applause. David did the Midnight Century, a Spokane tradition for years. Leaves at Spokane, Washington, down in wonderful Browns edition at
Midnight.
Stroke of Midnight, 100 miles, and
20-year anniversary.
Yeah, this
Was
was
it really?
This was the 20th year, apparently. Yeah.
20th year.
My first year.
What was it turn out like?
I was thinking about when we were leaving. I was like, what the fudge, man? There's like 75 people
Yeah,
here.
there's a
It's
ton of people.
Yeah.
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 I mean, all walks of cycling.
Juniors were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a junior with us up till maybe the last 30 miles. One of those boogers.
Freaking crusty boogers.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But
it
the
was
sticky type that sticks
Yeah.
to your finger. You
Yeah.
can't get it off.
you just can't get rid of it.
Stringy.
But it was. I was shocked. Midnight on a hot summer night, and 75 people turn out thinking it's going to be fun to ride 100 miles in the gravel. I had always wanted to do it for whatever reason, just to do it. And this was the first year I've been able to, and it was not fun.
Whoa, okay. Okay.
I mean,
You were also drunk going
Well,
into it.
I did not do a good job preparing. I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out the whole time. So I woke up early that day. I worked outside for 8.5 hours. I went to a dinner party. There was like, a little bit of, yeah.
A bit of whiskey being passed around.
Yeah. There's,
Oh, yeah.
What?
And then I get home and I was like, oh, God, it's in an hour and a half. That
You
ride.
are a lunatic.
I know. I told the people who he got like third to, right? So he got third, not to steal his thunder, but he got third. I told the other people this morning because they were on the ride, and they were like, he what? Like, I told them that story, and they're like, he didn't look like that at all. Like, how did he ride like that? And I'm like, it's David.
Well, there was some people that wanted to.
He was just comfortably numb.
That's insane.
But you guys, this is what was so crazy. Is that it's midnight, and you Centennial Trail, for those that don't know, it's this like dead flat trail out to state line. We were doing almost 30 miles an hour for the first 20 miles.
It's
it
fast.
was everybody was hammering. I was like, guys, it's late. What are we doing?
Guys, it's late.
And then
I just ran over a rabbit.
yeah. Oh, we had homeless people jumping out at
Yeah,
us. There was
yeah.
a brush fire on the side of the road. Deer almost hit us. I mean, this was crazy. And then it just kept going, and people kept peeling off. And then it comes down to like me and two other guys that were really after the fastest known time, the FKT.
There you go.
And I was just like, I'm here for a good time. So I just kept riding as hard as I could with them until I got a sidewall slash at 10 miles to go. It didn't even go like, the old like, and it like you get the,
Yeah.
it just went, and it was flat, and I was hitting my rim on the gravel because I sliced it so big. And I sat down on a railroad track, and it was 4:30 or 4 in the morning. And I was like,
Why do I wish I had the Dumb Ways to Die soundtrack going on in the background?
and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I didn't even want to do this in the first place. I'm calling my wife. I'm getting a ride home. I quit. I'm not doing this. And I pull out my phone, and there's no cell service. And I was like, God damn it. I have to finish now. This sucks. And so I spent 10 minutes booting the tire and putting a tube in. And then I start riding. And 5 minutes later, both my lights die. And it's still pitch black. I'm on Fish Lake at this point. So I'm doing like 21.
Pray to Jesus.
Yeah, 21, 22 on Fish Lake. Can't see a damn thing. And finished the last 10 miles. I was like, I don't know, 12 or 15 minutes
Several
behind them.
things.
You weren't even that far behind them. That's what's
Not
wild.
for what I went through on the side of those tracks. you
Several
guys.
things to digest here. Number one, most people take a little pen light, a little flashlight with them, or even, heaven forbid, do you know your cell phone has a flashlight function on it?
Oh, what am I going to do? Rip down with like my one hand out and like my...
Yeah.
Put it in your mouth.
Ew.
Dude, The last time I did the Midnight Century, my lights died like maybe mile 40, 50. And I came back on the Palouse with a flashlight in my hand on the handlebars. I came back on the highway.
You just took like the right or whatever instead of like.
No,
finishing.
actually, it was probably more than that because I went all the way to the state line. I was coming back to the state line, and I got all the way to where we came onto the Palouse. You know, where you get there, and I just took the highway back home.
Wow.
But most people prepare that way. They have a backup.
I didn't. I almost didn't even bring. I thought there'd be water stops for whatever reason in my head.
Yeah, because people are going to go, hey, it's 4 a.m. Let's go support the riders.
You know what was really cool?
Some people leave coolers out and stuff like that.
But you know what was really cool? Tom, the
Booger.
Local Booger guy, he
Local
set
Booger
up
team manager
at like mile 50 with his truck and a cooler, and he had like Gatorade and water and like honestly better than most Grand Fondos. His little setup of snacks and water, and so that was kind of a lifesaver.
The great Glenn Copus has done that when Jackson and I have done this in the past. Yeah, he's been just out in the middle of nowhere with his truck bed. And he's just sitting on it. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you...
That's a good person, Sam. You should look into it.
No, I don't need any of that.
He has worked on the... he was involved heavily. I think he managed the Weight Watchers women's team.
Yeah.
He's quite involved in cycling. Yeah, he's frame
shit.
builder for Serrata and Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
That guy knows his stuff and loves cycling.
David, would you classify it as a proper gravel race or a road route with some gravel in it?
It was too much. It was too. Gosh, it's like what we have too much of around here. It's too much gravel to be a road race, to be honest, and it's too much. It's not enough to be a gravel race because it's like 40 miles of gravel, and some of it's kind of brutal.
Yeah, you got some chatter bumps out there that are horrible.
So like I had a gravel bike with 38 slicks, and I thought it was great until I got a sidewall slash.
Yeah.
But
you had the perfect bike.
Yeah, it was the perfect setup. I don't know. It's kind of what we have a lot of around here though. I would still take a gravel bike.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
I keep saying no, but I'm probably going to.
I decided, Jackson,
hate my life enough.
You did it one and done? Two. You did two. Would you do it again?
I think nope, wrong camera. I think I would be tempted if I just had the right bike. I just don't have a bike that's proper for getting any sort of
Your
fast
gravel bike's
effort.
a titch heavy.
Have you seen that VMC?
You could put some
kidding.
32s, 35s on those, I bet.
On
that was the
mine?
previous FKT.
Oh, I can only do 28s on mine.
Yeah, people do it on a road bike, but it's more comfortable on a gravel bike.
With 35s, probably.
I would like to do it again and see if I could feel better.
Yeah. Well, I believe
if you weren't
try
drunk,
not drinking.
Don't drink and get some sleep before it. Like everybody was just like, "What?"
I go to sleep at like 7 on that night and just try to just rest until 10:30, 11 o'clock. And
I think I
got home an hour and a half before the ride left.
Well, I really think I was going to bail. The whole time in my head, I think I was going to bail. And then I was sitting there, and it's that thing where you're just like, I can't bail. I said I was going to do it. You idiot. If you bail, you're just so slow. You know, you do this thing.
You're worthless piece of shit.
Yeah. I don't know if Sam actually has this voice in his head because he doesn't show up to so many things.
I might have my voice in my head and Sam's voice. I might have double the amount because I live with that demon. He's very powerful.
It's very powerful. And then I show up, and then there's all these people there that I know, and I was like, I'm glad I came. And then 2 minutes later when we started, I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah. Were people bombing through stoplights at the beginning? And not to throw anybody under the bus, but that's what drove me crazy at the start. I'm like, I'm not going to race this thing because people are just like through downtown Spokane at midnight on a Saturday.
Yeah, this is not where you're going to make up that much time.
Yeah. So. And my night vision.
People are going to die.
My night vision isn't where it ever was. I think that was what bothered me the most because when I was trying to be near the front group last time I did it, and you get to some of those gravel sections where it's just dark and your lights only give you so much, and I was like, I can't do this. And so I just decided that was my last year.
I will say it's a ride where you have to kind of spend a lot of money to be able to participate in it too.
Really?
Like you got to have a good set of lights.
Yep.
that will last.
A lot of people have that kind of as a basic setup. Not to
They're not that expensive to get anymore.
Lights aren't
though.
that bad anymore.
Well,
I
yeah.
agree with
30,
you.
50
I,
bucks.
I feel like, but there's also that. Let's say you don't have a hydration pack, you got to kind of think about
Yeah,
these
yeah,
things
yeah.
just to
Stuff
rattle my
that you
clear
don't
lenses.
use every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have proper. I have one rear tail light because I ride during the day on the road. You know.
Yeah.
Like a normal human being.
Yeah, if you think he's right, if you're setting up just to do that ride and getting this equipment for that, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
$500.
anything. That's any type
Well,
of
no,
event.
because I disagree because my bike is expensive and everything, but I use
Rim
it all the
brake
time.
road
But I'm
bikes
not
aren't
going to
that
go
expensive.
buy a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to buy a bunch of other stuff just for one ride. My bike is for every ride that I do. And
thing.
That's right. Just that one
Road
thing.
bike.
But if you have a gravel bike, same thing. But do
Yeah.
you ride your gravel bike? How often do you use your headlights that you have for that?
Well, I didn't buy it for that. I mean,
But the question was,
How
Mr.
often?
Politician.
Mr.
The question
Politician.
was,
Well,
how often do you
Don't you
use?
get out of this?
the Democrats never use their lights.
You see, that's the thing.
No, and that was my problem. Is my lights were so outdated because I didn't upgrade them, and one of them, I'm not going to lie, was actually.
I think you were right.
You know
I'm
what?
not finished,
you-
motherfuckers. I'm not finished. One of my lights was a light that actually got turned into lost and found at an event and nobody picked up. And so I used it and the light died. And I went, that's why they left it
Karma.
behind. Yeah, it was. It was
Did you use the light that you won at the 24-hour mountain bike race? Plug.
Yes, I did, and it is the brightest light in the entire land, but it lasts like 2 hours.
Oh, well, there you
Well,
go.
it's got settings, dipshit.
I had it
Yeah,
on
you
the
had it
lowest
on.
setting.
You
Max.
did not.
No, I
bet
did,
you
and I used it
Again,
last.
your point's well taken.
I used it.
Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna just like David. I tip my hat to you. I could not
There's
have
so much
done what
money
you
I've spent
did.
for
That's
this.
absolutely
thing.
insane. But this is my point. If I was there, probably would have set the FKT on
Oh,
solo
shut up.
because
Oh,
of the
please.
preparation he would have had.
Oh,
I
you
have
think-
lights that have multiple batteries to
doing,
them.
you moron?
So they're like you can replace each one, and all of them are 1,200 lumens, right? It's like I am the person that shows up and is like,
not that
David,
one.
you need this and this and this. He goes on his own. Actually, he did really well overall.
Honestly, for
You did
all
really
things
well
considered-
overall.
Hey, you know what else? I just want to throw this out there. The only thing I ate for the whole entire thing was 5 of those maple syrups.
Hey,
Well,
Nice.
what was the
And
name of that maple syrup?
Vermont maple syrup.
What was the
untapped-
name of that brand of
Untapped.
Vermont maple syrup?
Untapped maple syrup.
Thank
Sometimes
you.
it's
Does it have
just me.
espresso in it?
I had a few of the espresso ones, and when my tire slashed, what did I boot it with?
The wrappers.
Yeah,
with
there
the
you go.
wrapper.
I
from
noticed
the
that.
Untapped. Yep, it's still in there right now. Hold
Yeah.
on.
King
his-
knows that.
His,
He does. He's done it too.
I went over to his house the next morning, and the bike was still, the computer was still on. It was a total shit show, and like he just literally dropped the bike and clearly fell into bed.
Dude, I completely understand that. That ride is it's a great tradition for people who don't know, and it'd be start it in your own community. It starts the first Saturday in August at midnight, and it is not sanctioned. It is the course is people just happen to have the course on their GPS, and there's no entry fee, there's no support, there's no insurance.
I also didn't have the course, so when I lost everybody, I had to pull my phone out. Yeah.
My point exactly.
We do have a more meticulous of the two brothers, I will say.
Yeah. Well, there's, like
My sister and I used to realize what genetic traits went into each, and I never thought it could be that blatantly obvious in terms of who got what. But holy shit,
But everybody like when we
you
did
got all the thought,
yes.
and he got fast.
Yes. When we did the no, seriously though, I'll admit to this because when we did the across state trip, everybody's like, "Why did you pack all that?" I'm like, "Because all I have to do is keep him fueled, and I'm gonna make it to Spokane." He's a motor.
the
Just
horse.
keep putting gas inside of it. It's just like one of those things that it's like if you just keep him moving forward, he can do it.
It's hard to fuel yourself.
Yeah.
Frustrating. Let's switch things up a little bit from our normal format with some news headlines, everybody. Sponsored tonight by our friends at Untapped Maple. Strangely enough. You know you need it, you know it works, and you know it's packed with power and easily digestible, quick fueling That's it, I guess. Pure Vermont maple syrup is its foundation. Untapped maple. Use the Lincoln Pack.
Great for booting your tires.
It is great for booting. Fabulous Faulkner, as everybody mentioned at the top of the show. What a ride. Who caught it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I did.
I watch highlights because I've told you
your
my
Peacock's
thing.
still fucked. What do you...
Screw them. They're done.
I love you to
Definitely.
death, man. I love you to death, but Zwift never worked for you.
Yeah.
This never works for you.
You're over 60.
Are you starting to think
Seattle
you're
hates
over
me.
60? Are you starting to think that it might be user input?
I'm sure it is. I'm not denying that. But
My
how come
password-
of all my apps on my Apple TV, absolutely no problems, except that one. That's the thing.
My password is Flanders
No.
a good boy.
No.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
the
right.
only one I've had problems with.
I caught-
It recognizes me that, yeah, you are in,
Yeah.
but then it says pick a you pay monthly or yearly. Pick monthly. You're already subscribed. Well, how come? And then it says pick the. It just goes over and over and over again. That's all it is. So it's a glitch,
It is.
and I say screw it. That's all right.
I will say this right now. So much more exciting than the men's race.
Well,
I thought
It
women's
is-
race
it was
Remco
good.
Yelling was pretty exciting.
What's that?
Remco yelling was pretty exciting.
That was slapping a
Yeah.
saddle.
Yeah.
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 That I like both of them.
yeah, I
equally.
think they were both very good tactically. They were very good.
Belgians played it perfectly, but
Absolutely.
it's never for Wout.
No.
Never
Oh,
gonna be.
Well, and he didn't
God.
mind.
Yeah.
We all neglected to pick Remco, by the way.
No, we did not.
Oh, Jackson.
Yes, I did pick Remco.
Okay. I threw away our sheets.
I mean, I honestly thought everybody would be marking him to a point of like, there's no way he's
They
doing
did.
anything. Yeah, I know.
And he just walked
He
away.
still
He
rode.
just
Yeah.
rode away. Yeah.
Um,
Kind of like someone else in the women's field.
yeah. Well, and she watching her bridge with Lotte Kopecky. She was
It was a minute and a half gap at one point, right?
Kopecky was doing work, but you could tell she was stronger. And as they got closer, it looked to me like Faulkner figured out that she was feeling better, and so she kind of. This is me just brainstorming. It almost looked like she was going, "Okay, I'm gonna take the equal amount that you are. I'm not going to tow you up and have this magical thing happen." And then as soon as they caught, she just danced. She just launched, and my God, she must have been feeling good because the people she was with. You know, that's attacking the best in the sport right now. I thought Mariana Voss had it. Voss and Vass.
Voss and
Vass
Vass.
and Voss.
But
Voss and Vass.
I mean,
Vass
you
and
also
Voss.
have to like take into like tip my hat to her. I'm not at all taking anything from her, but like when you do that first move, right? Like everybody else is then like, well, I don't want to tow you back up. So like beautiful, right?
I think there were some cooked legs in the front of that peloton.
Yeah.
In the front of that race. And I think Faulkner had the best legs that day, that moment.
Yeah.
I think she played it right because they are all of those know each other, the three, and whoever chases is not going to win. Mm-hmm. So Faulkner's not only card, but I think was the best card for her to play is do exactly what she did.
Right.
Kopecky was stuck behind that crash, and she had to bridge, and she was gassed, and that was obvious when pulling through. And I think I'm assuming, of course, that Faulkner kind of read that a little bit by her polls because Kopecky's not going to just tail gun it. That's just not her. And then when she got up, and because Voss and Vass, both of those immediately set up when they started closing within 10 seconds. They just pulled the plug.
Yeah.
As opposed to they could have made them really suffer.
Yeah.
And so, God, that's the best scenario. Mm-hmm. And the best thing about Faulkner, she didn't look back. She was all in at, 3.8K.
Yeah.
This is my only chance right now. And Vass chased, and Voss was on her tail. And then all of a sudden she just set up.
Yeah.
And Voss is like, no, I'm not going to. And that's all it took.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it was
textbook.
close.
Yeah.
It was a great race.
Yeah,
I loved that race. Speaking of, to jump to the men's race, we did touch on, we talked a little bit about the fact that the Olympic medal isn't necessarily as monumental as it is in some of the other sports. However, with Remco earning 2 gold medals in these Olympics, you know there's a contractual bonus involved here. Has anybody heard from Patrick Lefevre?
He said after the TT that he wasn't too happy because he was going to have to write a bonus check.
Yeah. Now he's going to have to write 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, that's a thing? You win a medal?
That's part of his contracts. You're typically with Quick Step, whatever, if it's Sedal or whatever, the way he writes his contracts is like, this is what you get paid. If you achieve these goals, you get a bonus check. That keeps
Like
him,
if you get
as
a green
opposed
jersey,
to
you get a bonus check. If you get a
like some American baseballers that seem to land a big contract because they pitched a no-hitter in the World Series and the next season they're gone, but they're still on the hook for 10 years for $250 million or something like that.
So he is unhappy that
Patrick Lefevre?
He always plays unhappy.
If you were to stop and consider this, though, Lefevre has been quoted, and I'm going to paraphrase his quote, as saying, where do my corporate sponsors benefit from this? Other than Specialized, Remco was displaying very few sponsor logos upon this victory.
Oakley and Specialized, yeah.
Remco is going to ride next year in a team kit with a gold band on the sleeve or a gold bike or a gold helmet. What does that do?
Cool.
Sure it is, but what does that do for a corporate sponsor? How does that make the investment that much better? Does this event make that much of a better investment for a corporate sponsor or for a team manager of a trade team?
Specialized, massive. Everybody else just gets to say, like, yeah, we are sponsoring an Olympian.
Yeah.
I think
that's...
Remco's a bit of a different story, though. Because, like, when it came to Richard Carapaz, even Greg Van Avermaet, who both are very, very esteemed riders.
Already accomplished riders.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Faulkner's got some playing cards now.
Well, yes, exactly. I was going to say with Remco, though, he is still so young, but he's also one of the top riders in the world. He just got 3rd at the Tour. Like, there's more for this rider to come. So I think, like any sort of corporate sponsor looking at Remco Evenepoel, you won double gold medalist, a world champion in both disciplines. Like, this is a guy you want to get behind.
Yeah.
Because you're going to make a lot of money off of him. Even if it's just from Belgian press, you're still going to make a lot of money off this guy.
Okay. I kind of, I'm not going to say I agree with Patrick Lefevre on this, but I kind of understand it. So where we all know that the rumors are flying abound that Remco's probably going someplace else.
Red Bull.
Okay, I was going to say,
Red Bull.
I heard the 2 teams, Remco to Red Bull or Remco to Ineos. Which team would be the ideal fit in your personal opinion?
Specialized is already at
Yep, that's
Red Bull.
They've
got a stage racer that's on his way out on the slide.
What? No.
Well, he might be doing the Vuelta.
He is. He's training for it.
But still,
Poor
nevertheless,
Primoz.
you got a superstar.
I mean, that would be the better move. I just think, like, he is good buddies with, some of the Ineos guys.
Ineos needs to restructure.
They
are in serious need of some way to justify that investment.
Exactly.
Just lost Jonathan Narvaez.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that, like, they would shell out the money, but I do think that, like, Specialized be like, hey, we want to keep you. We will put that money into whatever contract you're going to sign.
Yeah, I will say I would like for him to go to Ineos. Both have bigger budgets. I kind of think Red Bull's got a bigger one now. But
well, it gives you wings.
Yeah, well, and they also own 4 soccer clubs. So
Yeah.
And Formula One.
Yeah, which is probably the equivalent of 4 soccer clubs.
Yeah.
But both have really good money, but then you really got to look at, like, the support you're going to get behind the scenes. I think that team-wise, honestly, for the Grand Tours, I kind of feel like Ineos would be the place to go if you're really looking to win something. Yeah, it just depends on what sponsors he's going to pick to stick with, I think.
I disagree with Ineos because they have right now there's a bunch of kind of
It's weird
descent.
teeter-totter.
Yeah, they're not really jiving really well.
Mm-hmm.
Sutherland wasn't there for the tour as a DS. There's a little bit of who's in control, that type of thing, and they have not been performed. So Rod Allingsworth has stepped down. So I think, I don't think
I don't
want
to see any teams die.
No,
I'm scared.
The thing is that they have the money, but it depends. It's just a little chaotic I think it would be foolish if I was in Remco's place to go to a place that's got chaos or one that's just got money and is on the way up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ineos is definitely on the slide.
Yeah.
So other than getting a paycheck, you're not going to get what you want.
An interesting shuffle I could see happening, but there have been no rumors about it. I think Ineos, I like Tom Pidcock a lot. I think they kind of got to get rid of him. I think that he is the core. He's the nucleus. He's the disease a little bit.
Whoa,
in that team.
The disease. That was big.
Well, I think that he is a great rider, a generational talent. We will probably not see a rider like him.
I wouldn't
for
even
a
go
while.
that far, and I say fuck Lance and stuff like that.
But when you watch a team, that has born their identity around being the best Grand Tour team ever, right?
Yeah,
and then they go
absolutely.
to a guy like Tom Pidcock to win the tour.
Changes the structure of the dynamic of the team.
Does.
This doesn't fit with the concept we're playing.
No,
for. Yeah,
and
I see. What
Tom Pidcock's never going to win all that, and I think if they continue to pile that pressure on him, he's not going to want to be at that team. But he does have a great sponsor on his head all the time.
Yeah,
when he rides off road, exactly. It's Red Bull, and so I could see that whole Tom Pidcock to Red Bull, Remco to Ineos to fill that wage. But I think Tom Pidcock's too big of a wage for them to take Remco.
Yeah, I think. I just think that Red Bull wants Grand Tours.
Yeah,
I mean they're set up for that, and I don't, like you said, I don't think Pidcock is in there unless they want him for classics.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jai Hindley and Remco would be an interesting combo.
Yeah,
I don't think Jai Hindley's the issue. I think Primoz is the issue.
Oh no, I'm saying like it would be a youthful group of two very fast people. That one of them would be the super domestique to the other.
Yeah.
Probably Jai to Remco.
Well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody? You know what? Never mind. I was going to go back to the Olympics, but no. We drifted into a wonderful way to discuss, and we kind of all nerded out, and that brings me to a perfect way to bring us into tonight's what I'm going to call our mid-ride discussion. As mentioned at the top of the show, I went to a movie yesterday alone in the morning. The more I thought about it, the more I was just like, I'm just going to embrace my old fart, and then afterwards I'm going to just go to the hardware store and wander around. I don't think I saved a penny.
No, I thought
really
matinees were a thing.
I thought they were too.
they are a little cheaper.
Are they? I just didn't want to screw with people.
Oh, I get that.
So I was just like, I was there. I got to the movie theater in the mall, and the lights were still off at the ticket booths. They were still getting ready. Jesus. The escalator to get up to the movie theaters was blocked. They weren't ready. I had to stand out there, just kind of pretending to look at my phone for about 15 minutes. Because I grew up thinking you got to get to the theater at least an hour early.
What?
So you were there at 9:45?
Yeah.
No,
For a 10:45 movie.
No, I was there at like 10.
Okay, most places open at 10.
Yeah. I was there at 10.
For a 10:45.
Why would you roll in at 10:45? You still have all of the.
So
you know what?
stupid.
Coming from a guy who's
So
never
dumb.
coming from a guy who's never on time.
Yeah,
for a
I
movie.
roll in at 10:45, warmed up, ready to go, ready to rip your legs off.
Well,
Jesus.
so I got there, and I was, it was just, tumbleweeds going across. And I'm like, oh, God, I just aged myself at least 20 years right now.
Minimum.
So I'm there, sitting there. Wasn't wearing cargo shorts or anything like that. I was dressed within the decade. And I went in there. They took my ticket. Clearly the first person to go in. I was the first person into the 20 theater complex. And the I walked up to the food stand. David, are you laughing at me?
Yes.
That's okay. I walked up to the food
okay.
stand, the concessions, and I looked around and I went, none of this looks like anything I would want for breakfast. So I just walked past them, and they're all looking at me just like going, holy shit, why don't you just wear your Birkenstocks and socks and just call it a day, you old fuck. And I walked into the theater, and I forgot that I had bought my seat ahead of time on Fandango, so I knew exactly where I was sitting. So another reason not to show up so fucking early. The screen was dark. Usually the ads are running. They hadn't even started that yet.
Well, you were very early. Not to say that you're old. I get there early.
Yeah.
But that's like
What
an
time
hour.
do you roll up to movies?
I like to be there. I would say 15 to 30. Because I
Early.
just have to pee. Yes.
Wow, I'm there on time, if not 15 late, because they're gonna run the other things.
This is
the
what
commercials.
responsible adults do, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why? You're just sitting there to watch commercials. You're already in it for like however long the movie is.
Used to love the previews. Previews, however, for this movie were like 25 minutes long.
See,
It was like, okay, I got it. Enough.
so you were there an hour and 10 minutes early.
If you add in the
Yeah.
previews, yeah. So it got me thinking. As I'm sitting there,
Jesus.
I've reflected on how potentially old, but geeky, if not even nerdy, this behavior could have been seen. Because I'm sure that there are people who, when the movie was released, the people who go to midnight screenings and stuff like that. The people who go in costume and stuff like that. Yeah. So we're talking, the geeks and the nerds here. And I want to talk about the fact that cycling is, and I want everybody to come to brace yourself to understand that cycling could potentially be kind of a dorky, geeky, or even a nerdy sport. You're all looking at me. Nobody's in shock.
No, it's the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bunch of
I hope-
neurotic dudes.
I hope the people listening to us right now aren't in total shock. First question: Do you guys consider yourselves cool?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I heard all no's in one yeah. Jackson, you don't?
I mean, I consider myself like a normal person.
Okay.
I'm above average.
Sam,
Of course.
I think I'm out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave?
I've never thought of myself as cool, and when I started cycling, I accepted that was going to hurt that reputation.
Make it worse.
It was going to make it worse, yeah.
That's a big ask.
Do you-
do I live in dreamland?
You might. Do you guys care that you're cool or not?
No.
Really?
No.
You don't care how you look in public or stuff like
We
that?
all walk
Look
around in
at our fucking
spandex.
legs.
Yeah.
We got tan lines that
Yeah.
you go to the beach
Like
and
Crocs.
you see a bunch of cyclists go swimming and they're like, people are like, what the fuck?
What's going on there?
No hair on their
They
legs,
just get
skinny
released.
upper bodies, defined legs,
Yeah.
weird tan lines, sock lines on tan lines.
So, does cycling attract a certain type of person? And I'm talking across the board. I'm talking all the disciplines.
Yeah. And,
Do we all have that something in common, and is it a little nerdy?
Mm-hmm.
Even the hardcore off-roadies.
I think that they are. I'm going to be honest. They are also just as nerdy as the roadies.
That's what I'm saying. We have
Absolutely,
this
yeah.
across the board as a
Yeah.
common thread.
And they're like, we're so cool. No, you also kind of suck.
yeah. You also,
We all kind
Not
of
suck. But
Okay,
No,
here's
like
the
we all
reality.
kind of do a little, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean, it's just different. Like what Jackson's saying. Like, I mean, for like mountain bikers, right? They're super into the tech gear of suspension and you know,
your PSIs and your forks
Yeah.
and your tires.
yeah,
and
that's nerdy, right?
Okay.
Like that's super nerdy. Just
Yeah.
like we're into aerodynamics and all that. It's just a different breed.
Okay, we're throwing around geeks, nerds, and dorks. Let's define the three.
Yeah.
What is your scale? What is the lowest on the scale? Is
Nerd.
it geek? Nerds the lowest?
Yeah, that's just to
Dork.
me.
I worry about being called a dork.
No, okay.
Dork.
No,
I'd say-
okay. I think I have to redefine.
Okay.
Like when I'm lowest on the scale, when I mean like the mildest. What's the mildest? Is
Geek.
Okay.
Yeah, the
geek.
geek.
Yeah.
Geek.
Because you can geek out on something, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree on that one. What would be the middle of that? If you're like getting a geek is somebody who's just passionate about something, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they're very smart and into techie stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
because people
numbers.
can geek out on football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very
I do.
smart about football.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very educated on that.
Geek doesn't indicate in all things. It's just you can geek out on whatever it is that you're
Yeah.
into.
Whatever your passion
You
is.
go beyond what the average person, in my opinion, knows about, like the sport or about equipment or blah blah blah. That's
Okay.
that's geeking out.
Yeah.
I feel like geeks are, I think, more socially awkward, driving a slug bug, here to fix your computer.
I
Thank
think
you, Best
I think now
Buy.
you're
Geek
I think
Squad.
now you're entering the realm of nerd. Where nerds are going to be invested into the activity to the point of being socially awkward.
Nerds are Magic players and LARPers.
That's
No,
what I
those
mean.
are
Dude,
geeks.
No.
We are I am currently surrounded by bike nerds.
Yeah.
Fair.
If you don't agree, you're living a lie.
Well, I agree. I just don't agree that they're LARPers. I wouldn't call myself
No.
a bike geek.
But a LARPer is just a nerd who's gone into cosplay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is don't bash, because the LARPers could look at you and go, that guy shaves his legs? What the fuck?
Yeah, what a nerd.
Yeah.
I will
that
say-
guy spent how much? I just made mine with foam.
Yeah.
So step off, dipshit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying don't cut the LARPers out because they're passionate about what they
They're
do.
just
think-
like us.
See, this is the
I
problem
will
with putting
not
labels
accept
on.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a problem with. To me, nerds are the socially inept, and they don't get it. Now we haven't
Okay.
covered dorks. Dorks are
yeah,
somebody
where's
who
the
like
dork?
somebody. To me, a dork is like somebody who really gets off on, but laughs at his. Yeah, I'm into this.
Oh.
That's a dork. And it's like,
good,
yeah, you know, I'm a little overindulgent.
The
and-
dork gets the joke.
Yes. A nerd is like, listen,
Oh.
we're gonna go to the park and bring your such and such saber because that's the best one. That's a nerd. And like anybody else
As
that
opposed to-
enters into that world, you don't know what such and such saber is.
because it's
You're
not going to be that
idiot,
windy,
you know.
and I think that we will be more aerodynamic if we bring those
Exactly.
wheels.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
It's
thing.
the same thing.
Nerd is a LARPer. It's the same thing. It's just
Well, a nerd is a 60 millimeter deep wheels
Exactly.
obsessed
it's
over
all that's
air
across
pressure.
the board. Exactly.
See, that could be.
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Race Director. This fueling option isn't exactly according to my dietary needs, and you need to change your sponsor so my fueling needs are
That is-
perfectly accommodated.
That is a nerd. That's what I'm saying. They socially don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Okay, so we
So
have
a-
to
So
A
I
dork-
just want to let the LARPers off the hook here because we got LARPers
Key to
in
society.
cycling.
Okay, we have an organizational society here. The key here: never let the LARPers off the hook. Never. We will descend into chaos if we do.
yes.
Well, I don't know. I bought a 3D printer.
I love
I'm thinking
LARPers.
about making a sword.
LARPers feel like my friends.
I don't know if you should tell your like Homeland Security officer about that.
Plastic, it'll break. I mean, most things I've made are the coaster holding David's beer.
And those are dangerous. Throw them at someone.
Ninja stars.
Yeah.
I've honestly,
Wow, those are cool.
Wow.
I've honestly always wanted to join the LARPers.
Have you?
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, me too.
I just think it would be
David,
so
who hurt
fun
you?
to get out there with a freaking
I think it'd be
plastic
fun, too.
sword. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've always wanted to partake. I just don't feel like I could. I don't feel like I can. I don't have the confidence to do it.
See, what if you participate? but
I
you
don't have the confidence to get out there, put on a little cape, and pretend I'm from the medieval
Oh,
ages.
you guys, I could do it.
See,
I
what if
could
you
do it.
participate, but you just tried a little harder than everybody else, and you like, kind of like went for it. Like you made them all like
Kick
put them all
that.
to shame.
Cry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
made them
you
cry.
have the endurance to like run
Okay,
around.
I need to interrupt because
yeah,
do you
sorry.
guys know that you could take the exact conversation you guys just had and apply it to a Tuesday night bike race? and it would sound exactly the same.
That's my.
I don't know if it's just a training race. I'm not going to take it seriously. Wouldn't it be fun if we went there and we went really hard and we beat those fuckers? I'm just saying. Okay, so we can all agree that we are all on the geek, nerd, dork spectrum, okay? The ultimate litmus test here. Who in this room was cool in high school?
Me.
You are living a gigantic lie. Denial is not just a river in Egypt, man. I know you too well. You sat on a radiator and ate lunch by yourself.
I heard the story about you when you first fell in love with your wife, and that hurt. That hurt me.
I
was
felt
not
that.
Yeah, that was pain. I'm like,
I've always been cool.
She
For
didn't
those that
get
aren't
me.
here, he's currently crying. This isn't a laugh anymore.
It's reality smacking him in the face.
Yeah.
You mean that wasn't cool?
We see the tears on the bar
no.
top.
I'm not fast. Oh my god.
David is over
I've been
here like,
living a
yeah,
lie."
guys, he wasn't cool. David's like,
I mean, I don't lie. At least I don't lie about it. Like, I mean,
I live
my
in
goal,
Fantasyland.
in high school, all the way through and through, has always just been to be good enough that nobody notices. I mean, like, I don't want to be noticed. I just wanted to like be able to get through without like people noticing that you were there. Really.
yeah.
And that was me in high school, and that was me in college and med school and residency and everything. And but I don't know.
Did it work?
I think it did. I really think that like.
I guess you are a doctor.
Well, I'm here. Yeah.
I have
Did
made
something.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one noticed me, and I'm a doctor. I have no patience.
Yep.
None of them. Made it.
It's great.
10-year reunion, he's standing on the table in the middle of the cafeteria going, "Fuck you guys!"
And everybody looks up.
Doctor!
Everybody looks up like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Never
I don't
mind.
remember him.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Jackson, were you cool?
No. I've never really like. It sounds kind of depressing. I've never really had that many friends.
We love you, dude.
Yeah,
Four.
so I appreciate that. But
Two of us are over the age of 55.
I still consider it.
One of them you're directly related to.
Yeah.
Counts. Still counts.
Yeah.
But probably not.
Paul, were you cool? You would be the closest I imagine to being cool in high school. Because you played the cool
my wife
sports.
is still. She sent me a text earlier on, and I wanted to share this story, but it's not going to fit in the program. But, and it deals with zombies, and she brought it up, and it was a good one.
Oh.
So anyway, because she's a ER nurse,
Yeah.
I actually experienced
she
a good one.
probably fights zombies on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, seriously, yeah. But anyway, so if she was listening, because she grabbed. Now, mind you, I went to a very small school, very small,
Doesn't matter.
very small.
If
So
there were 5 racers and you
she
got
laughed.
5th, you still got 5th.
Yeah. So she laughed because in my senior yearbook, I got an award for Mr. Irresistible.
Oh.
I was
Were you the only guy?
I was the captain on the football team, the basketball team, and the baseball team, and I
He was
dated
cool.
a cheerleader.
It was.
So, but
Yeah,
I
I
never
heard that.
really looked at it that way. I really didn't.
Did you get
didn't.
that whole captainship stuff after that jock strap broke right off your body?
Yeah.
Broke right off.
Everybody stopped. Oh, the captain's nuts hit the floor. We
Yeah.
better stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
So you were considered cool.
I don't know if I don't
You're
know if cool's a
humble.
thing.
You're being humble.
No. I don't think cool was a thing, but I think I was friendly, and I think that's a way. Popularity was
He's likable.
Popularity was more on friends. I didn't try to make enemies.
This
There's
is how.
Yeah.
my best friend in high school.
I'm not
was-
talking like 80s villain cool.
No,
you
that
know,
was
where
my
you were
best
wa-
friend.
Okay.
He really,
Oh shit.
he probably would admit it if he was listening.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he played football, basketball. He was a numbskull, but he had fun at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, were you cool? No, you weren't.
I don't think
You
I
just
He
tried to
was
blend.
cool. No, he was cool.
He was cool?
He was cool.
But who was he? The cool guy that because everybody just thought he was nice and he didn't mess with anybody.
No,
and
he
they
was
didn't
good
know
at
his name.
sports, and
Okay.
he was really smart.
What sports though? Cross country.
No.
You stupid idiot.
No, but I did always want to run cross country.
Math
but-
team?
No, I was a soccer player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember
Okay.
that last week we all talked about soccer. That was my sport. But no, I mean, but I think it's interesting because you're talking about how you were like really nice and that got you a long ways in high school. I feel like when we were going through high school, just pointing out that there's a huge separation in age here. That you had like the mean kids were the cool kids.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm saying no is because I remember the popular kids and I was like, these guys are
That is
kind
a-
of dicks.
That
And I
is a
don't wanna be
generational
their-
shift.
Like I didn't want to be associated with them,
Yeah.
but because they were kind of mean to each other.
I
And
mean,
like,
those were the popular kids, but I don't think those were the cool kids. I think
Yeah.
that like I was a part of the nerd herd.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were cool, bro.
Yeah.
You just told everybody you're cool.
I was cool in my mind.
You were like I was. I
Yeah.
call my. I refer to a John Hughes movie quote. I'm kind of the king of the dipshits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although like the dipshits were valedictorians and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like one of those things where
but
it
still
was like,
weren't. But there was no quarterback involved. Yeah. Yeah.
No. But although someone in our group was the like prom king. Right? And I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, nerds for life.
Yeah. See, there we go. So we're gonna agree that
We're all cool.
other than Paul,
Yeah, we're cool.
we were all
Yeah,
kind
you're not
of
cool.
misfits.
I
Whoa,
I
sir.
wouldn't know if I was cool, but
Well, you were in that. You were cool.
He
I mean,
was
you were in the
cool.
cool crowd.
God, he's still cool.
yeah,
He
it,
is still cool.
it was 55 people in my class.
That
There's
doesn't
no
matter.
Cliques. That is a clique. 55 people.
Yeah.
That's it.
56 of them were women.
Yeah.
That's the coolest guy.
Good math there, bud.
That's how you got all those captain hoods, huh?
And 56 of them were women. Okay. Does it bother you that cyclists are seen as such?
No.
Cool?
No. No.
Wait, what?
I
We're
mean-
not seen as cool?
No.
Especially from
Okay, my world is being rocked.
I was gonna say this is a real intervention
I
for
was
Sam.
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
in high school.
This is more of a therapy.
especially the
session.
generic public eye where you'll see posts that are online, talking about cyclists in their skin tight spandex and their, how they look stupid and stuff like that. And some of us would look at somebody in a skin suit and go, "Wow, you look fast, dude." A good chunk of the population sees what we see as fast as pretty dipshitty.
You're stupid.
Can we
looking.
agree?
Yeah, we look stupid.
Well, I think
An
I
average person.
I think I look cool, and if my wife tells me I look cool, then I don't care.
Amen.
That's all that matters.
Amen.
That sounds like when I was in grade school and I had a hole in my down jacket. Okay, my mom, instead of fixing the down jacket, put a Campfire Girl sticker on it, which is basically a Girl Scout sticker on it, on the back of my jacket, dead center. Basically, my mom put a bullseye on the back of my fucking jacket, and I got punched in that sticker all day for multiple days.
Well, you should have turned. You should have turned around and broke a kid's nose. Nobody you top them. Nobody goes after you.
So just make the biggest guy in the prison yard your bitch is what
Yeah.
you're telling
Yes.
me I
Yeah,
should have
yeah,
done.
yeah.
nobody.
Holds
nobody
true.
Yeah.
Did you see Deadpool 2?
Well, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's Deadpool 3.
Yeah,
This
but have
one's-
you seen Deadpool 2?
I have. Yeah, that's
The
yeah.
Juggernaut.
Yeah,
Where he
yeah.
tries to-
That's prison rules. Yeah, it would have been that. I would have just been
Yeah,
like,
just get
because
clobbered.
it would have been more of an open-handed slap, is what I would have thrown.
Yeah, oh,
Jesus. That's a bad image.
Everybody would have been like,
Well, stop it! I became a theater major for fuck's sake, and I had shaped legs. Well, there's the bell. Okay, so we can go with that, right? We can all agree that that cycling doesn't matter. Road, mountain. I'm sure the mountain guys are going like, "Look, Dad, I drink beer and smoke cigarettes." Well, then you're still a dipshit.
bro.
Yeah, switch your sweets.
rip a jump and rip a cig.
Yeah. So let's take this and have some little fun here. Okay. So I need you guys to clear your heads as much as possible of
Easy.
all the previous biases of who you are, of the
I live.
people in the room around you. I need you to rank the podcast person from the perspective of a cool person. Okay. I'm going to give you a description of each and every person in this room. And I need you to listen.
From your point of view.
No, just from a cool person's point of view.
So it's from his point of view.
So he's cool.
I wasn't cool. I was king of the dipshits. I just tried to think about it as if I was a character just trying to describe each and every one of them.
I'm just being-
Gotcha.
Like I was the football player from
Cool.
the John Hughes movies. Okay.
This is fun.
And I need you to rank that person in terms of geek, nerd, or dork.
Cool.
Okay?
My palms are sweaty.
Okay?
Nervous?
Yeah.
Person number 1. Guy hosts podcasts about biking. Let me finish. Guy hosts a podcast
Dipshit
about...
wasn't a
Let me
choice.
finish. Guy hosts a podcast about biking. He has like 15 bikes. He likes to cook and he shaves his legs. If you were the football guy, where would you rate that?
I'm going to punch him right in that sticker, right in the back.
I'm gonna make him
Campfire
remember me.
sticker. Yeah.
So I would be nerd.
I thought dork.
Oh, we're doing the nerd dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nerd.
I would say
So what's
Wait,
what-
didn't you say
what's
dork?
the worst?
Didn't you? No, didn't you say that?
worst
dork-
is nerd.
Worst
Worst
nerd.
is nerd. Middleweight is dork, and
Uh-huh.
featherweight is
Geek.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
said dork was the person who can laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dork.
Well, because you know
No,
him
you're a
personally, you
nerd.
got to go off the description, but
Yeah,
you know him
you're a
personally.
nerd.
Guy hosts a podcast about biking.
I'd be like nerd.
And
Yeah, it's like
there
15
he's
bikes.
wrong because there should be cycling.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm presenting this from their
Yeah,
perspective.
Yeah.
that's a nerd because he's called it biking.
Yeah, biking.
Cycling. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I knew somebody who hosts a podcast about a biking and has like 15 bikes in his house, I would think that was a full-on nerd.
Yeah, okay,
Nerd.
fair.
I'm still having a tough time on this weight or this scale, but I'll catch
We
up.
can, or okay, we don't fuck the scale then. Well, you can
Let's just rattle something
you just
off.
be like,
It's
okay.
fun.
Next off. I wrote this earlier today.
Were you drunk?
No,
right.
it should have been. Guy's pretty quiet. Skinny as Ichabod Crane, but with bigger lungs. Hangs out with his wife a lot. Teaches preschool. Spends a lot of time on his bike and playing video games. Listens to fucking Taylor Swift.
Nerd.
Now we got to do this from the perspective of the football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say he's mid range.
Yeah.
Because he's
But
got
he's
some good
pretty
qualities
cool.
there. Yeah.
But you'd almost say at the end of it, but
I
he's
wouldn't
pretty
punch
cool.
him in the Campfire Girl sticker in
Also,
the back.
you're saying
Yeah.
listening to T
'Cause I
Swift
turn
like
around
that's a
and-
bad thing these days?
Yeah.
Come on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get with the times. That
That's
guy's
cool.
cool.
Okay, it's
We don't have
cool.
cool is not an option here. We don't have cool.
Nerd.
Okay. Okay. Nerd.
Nerd.
Where does that fall in the range, though?
Nerd.
Who's the
No,
coolest one?
we'll say
None of them.
all right.
None of them. They're all losers.
But I'm competitive. I want to be the coolest one.
Okay, nerd's the coolest.
No.
David, I don't believe you when
No.
you say it like that.
Wink, wink.
He's writing something down here.
No, I'm just.
So I this is how I classify what I just because I'm the first one to speak.
Okay.
So geek is somebody who's played a little bit off, but
Yeah.
he's all right. He can deal with society. Dork is somebody who is a little more involved in the geek,
Sure.
but he's a little more socially in depth because he can laugh at himself.
Okay.
The nerd has no clue what's going around him. He thinks everything's hunky dory. He doesn't understand why people don't get him.
Okay, so
That's how I rate a nerd.
okay. Geek
It's like-
good, dork bad.
Yeah,
That's good.
Okay.
nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Nerd,
bad.
No,
nerd,
nerd bad.
Yeah,
But
that's
see-
how I look at it.
Okay.
I
Okay,
understand
I'm
now
caught
that you
up.
explained
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I
And
was
I
the only
agree.
one.
You ready for the next one? Dude's old. He's snooty about beer. He judges me on everything. Lives in a windowless basement downtown.
Wow, nerd.
I've got a garage door. So opaque.
Just imagine this pale dude just coming out of like
out,
a
yeah.
basement.
Like it's some sort of a survivor.
Yeah.
Based off the scale, put forth nerd.
Yeah.
The
Nerd.
bottom.
Yeah.
So none of us are
There's no
good.
clue.
We're all dipshit
No,
losers.
no, he.
I was
Jackson
good. I
Jackson
was
made
good.
it.
Yeah.
Jackson's one of the guys that'd be like, oh no, he's cool. Let him
Yeah.
in. He's
Yeah.
cool.
Wait, because
He
You
can
got
come to the
these two.
geek
caterer.
or
Yeah.
dork? Did we give him
Okay.
geek or dork?
I would say
Jackson's
he's a geek.
he's geek.
Yeah.
Jackson would be more geeker.
Cool.
Yeah. Guy's a vegetarian. Apparently, he sets people up on bikes, kind of like a medical mechanic. Always enters the room and says, "Hi!" really loud. Obsessed with Top Gun.
What's the one
See-
that doesn't get social cues? Was that nerd?
Nerd.
Yeah.
No social cues.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, the Top Gun kind of put him into geek a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Top Gun's cool.
It is. It is.
If it wasn't about airplanes, it would not be cool.
Yeah.
I would
That's the
say
thing.
dork, right in the middle.
All right.
Got
I
him.
can live with that.
You need to see Turbo Kid immediately.
yeah?
Rent the movie.
Okay.
Trust me. Last one. Dude's a doctor. He's been seen wearing a tank top in fucking public. As skinny as Tom Hanks from Castaway, but his beard is worse. Hangs out with his brother way too much.
I put him in the dork category.
Dork.
Not a nerd, but a dork.
Not a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the doctor'd be like, I wouldn't insult him because he could potentially prescribe the wrong drug and kill me.
Yeah. Put you to sleep.
Okay.
I always say, I don't have to kill anybody.
Have
I don't
to.
Have to.
No,
Oh,
I don't
I
have
have
to. Sorry, what I was saying.
But
I
I
don't have
can.
to- I don't have to like worry about disposing of a body. Is what I've always said.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Because they'll
the
do it
morgue
for
will
you.
do it for me. Yeah.
Yep. I did not think you were going there.
That's good.
Oh my God. Okay, let's get to segments for tonight. Brought to us with the help from our friends at Competitive Cyclists. Shop at your LBS, guys, but if you can't find it at Competitive Cyclists, they're there to the rescue. Use the link. Damn it. All right. We're starting with Paul. You good to go first?
Yeah. Okay, go
Changing times with Mr. Paul Main. Let's see what we got tonight. What is we bumped all of our segments last week, so we got a full table. Let's dance. We got 20 minutes. Well, 12 minutes.
So,
A little different, but the same.
kind of on that changing times thing, the last tour, everybody was making a big deal that Tade broke Marco Pantani's record up this particular climb. And no one mentioned that the other two riders behind him also broke his time.
Yeah.
And then so drug things start going crazy. And I don't have any confirmation of this, but a friend of mine told me that the one that we do not name on the show made a comment that he believes that Tade is on drugs
Rough.
because of the
Takes
way
one-
he's
go to
Takes one to
hell.
know
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I
So,
can go to hell.
but I started thinking about that, and I mentioned it on our ride and stuff. And equipment is and diet and everything is everybody talks about, and I think it is a big thing. And I'm going to pull up some just this one statistic I came across because of the Olympics. So
And road conditions, right?
what's that?
Road conditions.
Road conditions.
Yeah.
And think about like when my first carbon bike I bought in 2018. I was like, what was I 48, 45 years old. I was 45 years old. I was
1948.
yeah.
It would have made sense.
My speed up a climb that I did Hatch Road was the first time I rode it was 30 minutes faster than I've ever done before. Even faster when I was 27 on a steel bike. Just
33.
30 seconds faster.
Oh, 30
And
seconds. Okay.
By the time I started figuring things out on this bike, I was crushing it by a minute and a half. Mind you, at 48, faster than at my peak at 27 years old when I was racing a lot. And I was just... So, to me, there is something to be said. So, first place in the 1988 Olympics in the 100-yard dash was Carl Lewis. He did it in 9.925. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and then last place in this year's 9.95. That was last place since 1988.
Yeah.
And
that's a big
you can go
difference.
back in history, like even technique and swimming. I saw this 1932 like I think it was the 100-meter freestyle, and the times were over like 58 seconds, faster than the 1932. I mean, there's so much more, and I think that people need to, get off the. And I'm not saying they're clean, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things that could be going on, but the days, in my opinion, the days of Lance in that time period. Well, I said his name.
That's all right.
I think is a little bit behind us. I just, we don't factor in, and we've got all this data that says, they're calculating how many watts he had to maintain. Todd A up this climb is like, no one could do that. Well, he just did.
Yeah.
And so, I just think that's something we need to step back a bit and just let it go until we have proof and get off this whole drug thing. Every sport is totally could be any sport, and every sport is all into drugs.
It's a bummer that new achievements in sporting nowadays are the first thing we think of is what are they doing to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, this is like a generational talent. This is somebody we've never seen before. It's how are they cheating? Like, this is impossible. So it's a bummer.
And think about the 4-minute mile was like something that couldn't be broken, and once it was done, then it just seems to open this floodgate. There's always another level.
Yeah.
So, I will bring this into statistics with, has anybody read the book by Malcolm Gladwell, David vs. Goliath?
No.
All right.
Nerd.
Look into multiple, read every Malcolm
Books
Gladwell
are dumb.
book out there, or listen to them. You can listen to them.
It's a little cooler, dork.
Yeah. It's a little cooler, dork.
If I bob my head at the gym to a book, people think I'm listening to rap.
But to your point, right? He talks a lot about how there has to be this perfect storm to get a Bill Gates of the tech industry, right? Bill Gates had to have the opportunity at, computers at that early age, along with, his intelligence to get to what he built, right? Think about that for anything. And he talks about that in his books. With any sport out there, you have to have the opportunity and the ability to get to that. It's like you have this. There's probably, honestly, it's seriously not that far out there to think that there are multiple Tades in this world. Mm-hmm. But how many of them have been given the opportunity to get on a bike at a young age?
The access.
Exactly. So that's my point is I really don't think it's that far out, to think there is somebody that could do this, But yeah,
he's bucking bales in Iowa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, truly though. Yeah. I mean, that's just the thing. So it's just it's a perfect storm, Tade, for having the ability and the accessibility to get there.
That's a great way to put it.
So,
who's the smartest person to ever live? I was listening while I was speaking.
Oh, me.
What's the first person that you think of?
Albert Einstein.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We all think of Einstein. Statistically speaking, with the number of people that have lived on Earth,
fucking nerd.
It's not Albert Einstein. He was the one with the opportunity, the education. Same thing that he's saying.
Totally.
Okay.
So there's been people that probably had a higher IQ and that were smarter, but we know of Albert Einstein because he had the right, upbringing and yada. So,
by the way, I started watching Oppenheimer the other day, and I turned it off because nobody blew up and turned blue, and there's a spaceship and had a light.
It's not as exciting.
Nobody grew claws.
No swords.
Yeah, not a single.
We had claws come out of their knuckles.
So much talking. God. Speaking of potentially cheating, let's go to ask Dr. David.
Good segue, Ryan.
We threw you kind of under a potential bus here. Do you remember we were going to ask you about?
Yeah.
Did you do research?
Dorks.
Yeah, I looked into it a bit. I did. Because so when you ask
this concept of carbon monoxide training. What? I always thought that was just
carbon monoxide bad for you.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that what Paul's doing every night if he opens his window?
Window.
You mean garage door?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys asked me. I didn't know they were doing this, and the first thing I thought of was I immediately thought of how you could use it to trick your body into states of feeling like it was low on oxygen, similar to that of being at altitude.
Whoa.
Because carbon monoxide poisoning which is what we learn about in medicine, and that's what we all know carbon monoxide from, and that's why we have sensors in our house. It comes from like, burning open flames in your house. Carbon monoxide, when you inhale it, has a very, very strong affinity for hemoglobin, and it displaces oxygen.
Sorry, my brain just immediately thought of somebody, lighting a propane grill in the middle of their living room.
It happens.
It's gonna make us faster.
Well, honestly, that's what's probably going to happen.
Breathe, children, breathe. You're the next Tade.
I mean, honestly, this is some crazy stuff that I was reading. So it'll displace oxygen off of hemoglobin, and then the way people die from it is that you're not getting oxygen and you suffocate essentially, even though you're breathing.
And it attaches; it's stuck in you.
It binds with a much higher affinity, and it's really hard to get it off. So, I thought when you asked me that, you guys asked like, how is this playing into training? I was like, are people actually inhaling carbon monoxide to try to trick their body into thinking they're in a like higher altitude? And apparently they say they are not. They're saying they are not. From what I can see, that is not what they're saying. They're saying that they are measuring carbon monoxide excreted, because we all have a certain amount that we breathe out from normal respiration, and they're using that as a measure of how fit somebody is and how how aerobically fit they are and how well they're processing oxygen. That's what they're saying. But they all have this machine, apparently, that can also very precisely modulate how a small amount of carbon monoxide. And the reason they have this is because there have been studies, not even just recently, but like for the last 20 years, where they will take somebody who is trained at altitude, and then they will give them small hits of carbon monoxide at the end of the day or something, like at some point in the day. I don't know how they're all designing their trials, but there's a period throughout the day after they come down from altitude where they give them a small amount of carbon monoxide and then let them go about their day. And apparently that small amount of carbon monoxide basically makes your body think that you're at that higher altitude state, and it prolongs the benefits you get from training at altitude. Holy shit. I think we've talked about in the past. There's all these molecules you build up. There's one called 2,3-PPG. It's things that basically cause your body to bind oxygen more with a higher affinity, so that you can deliver more oxygen to your muscles. And so the teams all have this machine that they say they're using to monitor fitness. They're using it as a diagnostic, but the same machine has the capability of delivering a supposedly safe amount of a poisonous gas to trick your body into thinking you're still at altitude. Wow. And so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I didn't have enough time to look into this, but it's very interesting, and WADA apparently has not come out with anything against it, other than the fact that if people are using it, it does technically mess with your blood chemistry, which I think there's like a overall clause that like you're not allowed to like alter your blood in one way or another within, WADA's regulations or whatever say that you're not allowed to do things to alter your blood.
Just like blood doping.
Yeah. And this would kind of be a chemical way of tricking your body into, responding to a low oxygen state in a way that would be beneficial for you while you're racing. But also, it sounds really risky, and like how I don't know. I don't know. I don't have enough info on it, but it is very interesting that
I'm gonna buy one.
Somebody was talking about how it was the next great doping.
I'm gonna go sniff my barbecue.
I already got one. I just backed my car up to the door of the studio, and I just run.
This is what I was thinking. I was like, people are gonna go huff their car fumes after a bike ride, trying to give themselves.
I'm just gonna take a nap in my car.
In my garage.
With the hose going straight into it after a bike ride. I'm at altitude. Yeah, I'm
don't
at
make
sea level.
jokes about suicide. Suicide's bad. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's really bad. But
so hopefully more comes out on this, because I'm genuinely interested. This is like it is bizarre. It's super weird.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know that they're actually using it to quote dope, or if they are genuinely using it as they say to figure out like how well the body's processing oxygen. And everything.
Metaphorically, I imagine some WADA guy sitting at a desk, and it's full of paper, and he's like going, "I got it," And they're like, no, dude, that's like from so far long ago. They're onto something new.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
You can ban it, but they're doing something else.
They can't keep
They've
up.
been doing this
They
for
can't
10
keep
years,
up.
probably.
Well,
Yeah.
the interesting thing about that, though, I think, at least what I remember somebody saying, is everybody responds to high altitude differently.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the purpose of that they can trace out is like, oh, wait, the way we're training you at this altitude is not beneficial. We can get more if we alter this and that.
So I do think that's what that is what they're claiming, and maybe I came across a different rabbit hole, but that is what the machines are designed to do, is to try to tailor training based off of the amount of carbon monoxide excretion that people have, but at the same time, it is a little strange that these
really
same
nerdy.
machines.
It's a gray area without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's always the quest for the advantage.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Next one, we haven't done a fit tips with Bike Fit Sam, courtesy of our friends, sponsored by Ambassador Cycling. Get
me.
Fit, get fit. That is you. And I don't know if this is just me soliciting personal advice or what, but and I hope there are other people who've been dealing with this. And this isn't just on my road bike. Midsummer, hands started going numb on like within the first 30 minutes of a ride. All bikes, tandem, road, gravel, mountain, and you know, I have been fit from you and things like that. And then at some point in time, like I came home from my ride on Sunday with Paul, and I was fine. My hands for the last half of the ride weren't numb. I find myself in the first like 2/3 of a ride dealing with numbness. And
do you get that like when you like pinch your fingers together, you know, like you're it like gets that zinging feeling?
Not as much that, it's just more as the you know, kind of that area of the hand starts to go numb, and I'm shaking my hand off while I'm going down the road. And I don't know if this is dealing with pressure points and aging or gloves or anything like that. But I just found it really interesting that I thought it was like, okay, it's just maybe I need to go back in and get refit, but it's every bike across the spectrum.
That is bizarre. It's also bizarre that it went away, you know, like without you changing anything.
But it'll happen again tomorrow when I get on my bike.
Yeah.
For the first half of the ride at least.
I mean, because it's not uncommon. Like something that I see a lot is in what I have to adjust on my own bike is my fit changes throughout the year. So I've lowered my, stack height, all of that, because otherwise I'm like shrugging my shoulders and trying to get lower. That does cause an impingement in the anterior shoulder, which is where your brachial plexus runs through. It'll get pinched and you get all the nerve issues. So I would say that like it's probably because your fit is changing throughout the season, and so we might need to look at like stack height is probably the biggest one for you, because if you had any more shoulder issues,
just consistent, but
nothing has changed.
Not worse.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the biggest other question that I'd ask somebody that would come in would be like, because I mean, you in particular like have had shoulder issues in the past, been worked on, all that. So I think like for you it would be just the fact that your fit has changed throughout the season, and I'm gonna guess that it's because you need to lower your stack height as the season has gone on, because you're probably putting too much pressure trying to get lower, because we wear less layers. There's all of these things that go into factor when we're considering like our position in late summer versus like early summer, spring, right? Like when you have more layers on, you're going to be more upright because you can't fold forward as easily. Yeah. You're wearing rain jackets, all this stuff. Whereas like once summer like comes around, I am literally just wearing a jersey and shorts. So it's like I am low as I can go. Yeah. So that changes your fit for sure.
And I didn't even think about it. The fact that your fit can change throughout the year is something that just boggles the mind. But I think about it, in the summertime when we're all going harder, I personally, I'm speaking for myself, you tend to bend your elbows lower to try to get lower, to try to hold on to that wheel and things like that. And that automatically is a physical position shift.
Exactly.
Your saddle adjustment's going to change. And
Yep.
oh my God.
And how you
Why
sit in
can't
the
this just be one and done?
I know.
Fuck!
And like that's why I would always fit somebody to like, what are you going to be like? Ideally, honestly, you're probably going to get fit through the winter, and then it's like, hey, as this goes on, nothing else should really change too much besides maybe your stack height changes, and we're going to lower this like 5 mil at a time, right? Like if you were to just take one spacer out of the bottom of your stem, put it on top, that could get rid of all your issues.
Wow. I guess that's a strong point for having enough spacers to be able to make that adjustment throughout the year.
Yeah, like I mean, I was thinking about it this morning when I was getting back from the ride. I'm like, I am going to very soon here raise my stack height back up for when I get on the trainer.
Right.
You know? So it's just it's a different fit. Yeah.
Well, shit. All right. Last but not least, I still got your old theme, the cool down with Jackson Bulger.
This is a cool theme.
It is kind of cool.
He's so cool.
He is cool. He got the best ranking out
like
of all of us, didn't he?
It like skipped a
geeked.
generation.
Oh, totally.
All of your like potential
my dad.
coolness.
I don't know what my
went
dad
into-
was like. I bet my dad was pretty cool in high school, though.
I don't know.
He was the oldest of like 7, so he was.
Anyways,
Don't get me into family issues.
yeah. Let's avoid the trauma.
That's our dad
My dad doesn't
issues.
listen this far into the episode,
Yeah.
so we're fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't even listen.
No, he doesn't. God, right? Anyway, Jackson, what you got for us?
Yeah. So I sometimes think about this, but like I ride a lot during the weekdays. That's when I do like a lot of my training work, I would say. And when you come home from a training ride during the week, you're kind of spent, and you want to relax. And this is the word that I'm going to continue to capitalize on. But I relax in a way after a ride that I'm pretty sure other people might do differently. So like what I usually do when I get home is I get on my phone, I look at my Strava and everything.
Bourbon?
Yada yada. Yeah, bourbon. No. I shower, do all that stuff, but I really do like I enjoy just sitting around watching TV. Sometimes I'll play video games if I want to.
Nerd.
But but a lot of I like to watch YouTube videos sometimes. It just depends on the day. But my question is for you guys: how do you relax?
Wow.
I'm going to jump into it.
This is great on the theme of the nerd versus geek, too.
I'm going to say I am so deep in house projects right now that like biking is my relaxation. So it's like when I get home, it's like I just go to it. There's been multiple times where I'm just doing construction projects, so I'm going to get nastier, and I'll do like a spit shower, and I'm just like, I'm not even going to shower because I'm disgusting. I'm going to have to shower at the end of the night. So, yeah, no, it's like biking is my relaxation.
I gotta unpack everything you just said,
Spit-
because you
spit
started
shower?
with first
That's
of all he
good.
said biking,
Yeah.
and then he said spit shower, and then he said
Yeah,
so
well,
much
I'm
stuff,
not
and I was
some
just
nerd.
there were too many red flags in that statement that I don't even want to fucking touch that.
I'm not some nerd.
How do you unwind like that? Wow.
What do you do at the end of a day?
But I think you're talking more about like short rides. I'm imagining your question is referring more to like you finish a big hard ride.
Oh, I'm a
If you-
vegetable.
If
Or is
you
he
want
just
it-
talking about the end of the day, even just how do you?
I want you guys to answer this however you want to answer it, because the soul of this is still stylized to you.
Because there's different rides. When I do a morning ride, like you're starting your day with a hard ride, yeah, I just get into it. You know, if I'm like Sam, if I'm gonna do house projects that day, I don't really. I'll just put on clothes and then go get nasty and do house projects. But if I finish like a big ride, I want nothing more than to like have some sort of like comfort style food. I don't want to cook it. Maybe a pizza, a burrito. I want to sit on the couch and I want to watch something, and just sit there in the basement, no windows. I've had so
Come
much.
to my place.
Yeah, sounds great, man. Like so much sunlight. I go to the basement. It could be. I'll finish right at 2 p.m. and it's beautiful out. I'm like, I'm in the basement because I've had so much
Cold.
I've had so much sunlight. It's hot. Yeah, I want to be downstairs in the basement in the cold, dark, watching TV, eating food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Paul, what do you do?
So like big hard rides. I do like to come home, I take my time, kind of like unpacking, like take my shoes off, greet the dog.
Yeah.
And eventually, I won't even shower right off the bat, but I'll change into like maybe shorts, no underwear. Go commando.
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm not going to dirty
Just
a
a
pair of
jock-
shorts because whatever I use is
Yeah, sure.
gonna
Just
be
a
wasted.
jock strap from high school.
And usually I have a beer, relax,
Yeah.
talk to my wife. I just that's what I do, and even after work is pretty much the same thing. Is more conversation with my wife and hang out and
Still shorts, no underwear after work too.
yeah. Well, no, I kind of keep those underwears on, so I don't have that that ball cheese from riding
Sure,
after
sure.
work. So
Don't let it crystallize
under.
on the floor as you're walking by.
yeah, the
Yeah.
from under cheese from under my balls.
From under cheese.
That's about it.
Paul, I'm very much in the same boat. I think we were talking at the onset of the show that I work in an industry where a lot of my coworkers like to socialize with each other, and I find myself kind of self-induced outcast because of that. Because when I finish a day, or when I finish a ride, or when I finish a lot of things, the first and foremost thing I want to do is I want to go home. I want to hang out with my wife. I want to just shoot the shit with her. I want, don't think of me as a raging alcoholic, but I want to have a beer. Michelle and I did a tandem ride the other day, and we came home and we had what I'm now calling deck beers. We just sat on the deck and had a beer and talked about the ride. And then
explains where the IPA went.
no, she drinks the pills.
Talk about you.
I know. We don't count me. I paid for it, fucker.
How many beers have you had, fucker?
Yeah, exactly. But and that's my thing. That's what I do. I like being in my living room talking to my wife. I like cooking dinner. I'm the guy who will be like, I come home from a 4-hour ride and like, I still gotta go to the store and get groceries. My wife's like, you don't have to cook tonight, but I like to.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and so the reason why I ask this is because I think that, well, actually, I know none of us live a life where we get to just ride all the time and then sit around the rest of the day. That's not what we live. So we have to work and train at the same time to be at the level that we're at. And that's hard to maintain.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to get rid of that stress at the end of the day. And so I was really interested to hear what everybody does to kind of just unwind, relax.
That stress can impede upon my cycling too, because sometimes I'll come home and I'm like, no, man, I'm not going for an effing ride.
And the hardest part is breaking through that. You sit down on the couch, done.
Yeah, don't sit
And
down.
if you
Yeah.
go for a ride, you come home and you're going, God, I'm glad I went for that
Yeah.
ride. And that's the hardest thing in the world.
Well, it was this morning when I woke up and I'm like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And I was like, just do it. You're going to feel better.
Oh,
Yeah.
stupid. That was a good one, Jackson. That you guys brings us to an end of the Pack Filler podcast. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
I hope you like the Olympics. I enjoyed. Anybody watching track?
I'm watching it all.
A lot of
I
gymnastics.
watched the
for me.
highlights.
No.
Oh, shit.
The by the way, the team sprint is like short attention span team pursuit. It's actually really fun to watch. I recommend it highly if you have Peacock. Sorry, Paul. Be sure to like and subscribe, as it truly helps us boost our power. Drop a review on your favorite podcasting platform, and support the sponsors. Go to the Pack Filler Podcast website, and I guess we'll catch you guys. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
This is the one that has the au revoir at the end, but we got 21 seconds left. So I just filled time by saying, did you guys know that I recycle all the paper of the documents I use at the end of every show?
Wow.
I am a good person.
You pick it up
Yeah.
off the floor?
I care about the world.
Virtue
I'm
signaling there.
I'm here for others. You know,
So
that's all I care
And
about.
somehow the
God
dishes always disappear here.
damn it.
Somebody always washes my glass.
See, I had it timed. I'm a broadcasting expert, and you guys kept talking over me.
You should have brought us.